What's good, YouTube? It's Quintessential Q, your quintessential ain't shit YouTuber here, and we got an update for Godfall, and I kind of skimmed over it, and it's lackluster. But let's get into it. This update 2.2.4 is now available for both PC and PS5 versions of Godfall. This update includes a wide array of bug fixes, stability improvements, and continued optimization. Please continue to provide us with feedback as we are monitoring, addressing various issues while working towards future updates and plans to have a larger update in the coming weeks that will include various quality of life improvements based on this feedback. Note we are aware of the bug that all non-weapon secondary traits are not increased when upgrading to rank 3 and plan on having this implemented in the next update mentioned above. So they are aware of this. I hope this is retroactive, that for those of us that have upgraded like charms and stuff, we do get those upgrade increases like we were supposed to. Hopefully, we'll see. We will only be able to see. Continuing on, general, all platforms solved the issue where the host of a multiplayer match would incur a blank screen if a player in the party had not yet unlocked the boss encounter. Cool. Solved the issue in multiplayer when the user browsing a menu during a cutscene would be stuck outside after the cutscene and display the character with placeholder textures. Added additional logic around enemy spawn locations to prevent enemies from appearing in inaccessible spots on the map. Solved an issue where objectives would not update properly. Solved an issue that would cause ranged enemies in the Tower of Trials to move to attack from melee range instead of the appropriate range distance. Solved an issue where enemies would lose target tracking of players in Tower Trials or Tower Trials. Solved an issue where simultaneously killing a last set of enemies in the Tower of Trials could cause enemy waves to stop spawning. Thank you. Been asking for this fucking fix for 3 patches now. Jesus. Solve ray tracing issue in the air realm that caused disproportionate negative impact on frame rate. Solved a rendering crash that would occur when browsing the personal menus. Solved crash that could occur with an internal spatial significance systems miscommunicating with the server. Added game server capacity in Singapore, Sydney, and Canadian regions for increased multiplayer stability. Let's be honest, who at this point is even still playing this game? PlayStation 5 only turned HDR output settings to reduce exposure and bloom. That's it. Of course, all the ones with the sword are player feedback, so there's that. In my honest opinion is, who cares? This still doesn't address the main problems with Godfall, and that's that their in-game loop is trash. There is no fix for the in-game loop that currently in the Tower of Trials, loot does not. While enemies do continuously scale up, loot does not. So even at floor 30, floor 40, floor 50, you're still going to see green and blue loot doors, which is garbage, which is trash. Haven't addressed that. Haven't addressed any type of somehow vamping up or improving the in-game loop as of right now, because the in-game loop is not only garbage, but it's also incredibly boring, not interesting. People call this the next Godfall. I mean, people call Godfall the next Anthem, but if we're keeping it a buck, Anthem had a better end game than Godfall. With only 3 domains. That's the sad part, because let's not act like Anthem's end game was good. That shit was trash, but somehow Godfall said, hold my beer, and said, we can do worse. In-game loop is trash, boring, repetitive, a waste of time. Most people have stopped playing the game. Most people have stopped streaming the game. Let's do a live look right now. Let's do a live look right now, right? Browse. Where's Godfall, man? I can't even find this shitty ass game. Did I pass it? Should be somewhere, right? Oh, there it is. 54 viewers. 54 viewers for Godfall. That's terrible. That is trash. That is garbage. That a game that came out like a month ago, a month and some change maybe, is already down to 54 viewers on Twitch. When games like Spider-Man, Miles Morales is still holding like almost 1K viewership, and that's a story game that once people beat the game, they're done. Like they're not going to play the game. This is supposed to be a looter slasher that you constantly invest in, similar to Warframe, similar to Destiny, similar to Borderlands, and all those games are doing better than that game. I should have looked at Anthem to see how high Anthem is. You know what? Let's go back. Let's go back to Twitch and see how where Anthem at. Just for sake of comparison, bro. Let's see where Anthem's at. Anthem's at 1K. I don't even know. I guess it's mainly because this guy right here and this guy. But Anthem's at 1K. Granted, take these two people away, and Anthem is at like what? Maybe 20, 30 people. But again, compare this to Warframe, compare this to Destiny, compare this to other games that have been out, other looter shooters, other looter games that have been out that are still holding relative good numbers. And it is a shame that Godfall has been out a month and a half or so, and this is what we have. This is where we're at, where the current, like, people are barely streaming this game, people are barely playing this game. This game was a disappointment. It was a letdown. People, if you go on their like their Twitter, if you go on the Godfall's Twitter account, anytime they make even some type of relative post, it doesn't even have to be about updates. They can just make the most like monotonous post, and it's like people are just like, hey yo, instead of posting this, fix your game, fix your game, fix your game, fix your game. They try to do like an advertisement, fix your game. They try to ask the community, hey, what's y'all builds looking like? Hey, don't worry about our builds, fix the game. Like, they don't, the community is pissed off with Godfall, and rightfully so, because this game, they said they didn't want to be a live service game because they believed all their content should come within the game, right? But they failed to deliver on that. There's no content in this game. This content is ass. The content's not there. It's boring. It's repetitive. And like I usually say, like, hey, people always say that about looter shooters, like that's usually not a good argument. Of course, looter is gonna have repetitive content, but this is like super repetitive because right, you got what, like 18 dreamstones or something. Half of those dreamstones are useless once you hit level 50. If it's below level 50, you literally can't do it. So like that only makes about like 6 or 7 dreamstones useful. So you got 6 or 7 dreamstones to choose from, and you got ascended tower trials, because doing lower level dreamstones just gives you low level loot, which is useless to you once you hit level 50. So you got 6, 7 dreamstones to pick from. It's which the dreamstones in and of themselves are just repeat of bosses that you already fought, and Ascended Tower Trials is just a survival mode fighting many bosses that you've already fought. Both content is repetitive, it's boring, and in the case of Ascended Tower Trials, not even really rewarding. So like you go through all that monotonous, boring grind just to not even be properly rewarded. It's terrible, terrible. But that's all I got on Godfall. Hopefully they can turn it around because, like myself, I've stopped playing Godfall. I'm sure many others have stopped playing Godfall as well. They need to. I don't know. They might have to pull an anthem and just hey, we shutting down the studio. We'll catch y'all back on like a Godfall 2.0 update. I don't know, man. I don't know. Go free to play and become a live service game because clearly y'all didn't deliver when it comes to having all the content within your game. That whole statement and bullshit that got everyone so hopeful for the game, that y'all were so confident that y'all was gonna have all the content within the game. It turns out to be bullshit. Y'all don't have the content. Y'all don't have the content in your game, and it clearly shows. So I don't know. Going free to play might be the best bet. Something, because right now this ain't it. This ain't it. These lackluster patch notes ain't it, man. But that's it for me. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Again, I'm Quintessential Q, your quintessential ain't shit YouTuber here. Please be sure to like and subscribe to the video. Also, follow me over at Twitch, twitch.tv/quintessentialq. And on Twitter, twitter.com/Q my shit up. The link to both of those will be in the description below. And with that, peace, man. Peace. Hopefully they can, Godfall can turn around some, do some. I don't know. Damn.